Hello, this is JB Sissel with ICTV, bringing you today's Ask Mike question. Mike, what is your opinion of the early signing period in football? Is there an advantage to any of the parties involved, and are there disadvantages to any of the parties?
Yeah, so this is also an interesting question. It's one that I'm glad was asked. I've been struggling with the early signing day period for a while, ever since we really introduced it. Coming from the era when we only had one, and it was back in February, the signing day used to be a spectacle. It used to be an event, and it was something that everybody kind of waited for. It was highly anticipated, and it was the first big off-season event for the college football world. And now I think with the advent of this earlier signing period, we're going to lose a little bit of that for the February period. What will most likely happen is that the December signing period, which is now the early signing period, will become the de facto official signing period, as more kids will want to get their recruitment over with. They'll want to get signed on to schools. Schools will be pressuring them into signing early so they have a clearer picture of what their class is going to look like, so they know how to approach the February signing period in terms of offers, who they need to gray shirt, things like that. So it's going to present some interesting realities that we haven't necessarily dealt with before. I think there's two ways of looking at it. So there's benefits to the players and there's benefits to the schools. And there's the benefits to the players is the more, rah-rah, positive outlook. The position taken as far as benefit to the schools is a little more cynical. So benefits to the players is, if you're someone like me, I didn't really like recruiting when I was in high school. And that's not because I didn't appreciate the schools that were recruiting me and I didn't appreciate the process. I did. It was very stressful for a guy like me. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I constantly felt pressured to make a decision when dealing with these schools. It can be a lot for a 17, 18-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid in some cases. So there's a benefit to the players who want to get it over with and sign early and be done and kind of end their recruitment. The other benefit to players is that once you sign that paper, you know that you've got a spot. You have a scholarship waiting on you. You will have a locker when you get there in the summertime. It creates less time for something to happen like schools pulling offers. Nick Saban does this a lot. We've heard about Bobby Petrino doing it at Louisville, pulling guys' offers. It happens all over the country, and it just ends up being a numbers problem for a lot of these coaching staffs. They run out of room. They offer 35 kids, 40 kids, but they only have room for 25 in a signing class, or 26, or maybe even less than that. And once you have commitments for all those guys, you need to determine how solid those commitments are. And if it looks like you're going to have more guys that want to sign with you that are committed than you have room for, you then run into a problem, and that's when offers start getting pulled. And that's kind of the nasty part of recruitment. I think with the early signing period, it allows players to get their foot in the door, get signed on with a club or with a school, and be done with it. And you don't have to worry about losing your offer in that regard. A negative is that extra couple of months. There might be some schools that come out of the woodwork over the holidays and come out of the woodwork after the beginning of the new year that may not have thought they had a spot. Somebody decommitted, a position opened up, and maybe that was the school you really wanted to go to, and now you've got an opportunity to go there because an offer came your way. The early signing period, if that does become the de facto official signing period, and entire classes get filled up in December, there may not be room at the school you wanted to go to, whereas there might have been that possibility for a late offer right after the holidays or after the start of the new year that there was in the past. So there's pros and cons for the players. I think it's beneficial for guys, again, that were a little more stressed out with recruiting, that really want the process to be over with. Now, the cynical view is the benefit that it has to the schools.